All right, guys, I'm going to show you exactly how my client Gavin gained over 40 pounds of muscle in 9 months working 10 to 12 hour shifts. I'm going to break everything down so you can see how simple this actually is so you can do it too. So, just to give you a little background about myself, my name is Zach. I'm the owner and head coach of Freedom First Coaching. I'm a two-time nationally qualified bodybuilder. I'm a full-time coach, nutrition coach, you name it. What's funny is me and Gavin actually used to work the same job. Before I actually got laid off and I went all in on my business, which is why I'm here right now making this video. But we worked at the same job. That's how he became a client of mine. Very hard work. Gavin is a very hard worker. We work for a company called VersaLift, where we build bucket trucks, dump trucks. This is hard work. This is long 10 to 12 hour days. Sometimes he was even working 7 days a week. That didn't stop him from getting this insane transformation, staying lean, building muscle, working 10 to 12 hour shifts. Literally anyone can do this. You need to be on point with your training, with your diet, and everything to actually get these results. But I just wanted to use him as an example to show you, even if you're working blue collar, long days, hard work, you could still have an awesome transformation just like him. So let's get into it. When Gavin first started with me, he was 161 pounds. After the transformation, he was 204 pounds. So when he first came to me, he was 161 pounds. And the key problems Gavin had were he had a fast metabolism. He had literally no structure with anything he was doing. He had inconsistent training, bad sleep, and poor nutrition. That's the problem most people have. So the good thing was that he had a fast metabolism. Most people think that that's a problem, but for a bodybuilder, that is something great you want to have because it will allow you to pack on a lot of size and stay relatively lean while you do it. So he thought it was a problem. We utilized that to his benefit to make this transformation. He had no structure at all. No structure with his training, no structure with his diet, no structure with his sleep. Literally everything was all over the place. His training was inconsistent. He'd maybe train, 1 or 2 days a week. Wasn't really keeping track of his workouts, wasn't keeping track of the, reps and sets he was doing. Wasn't keeping track of, training a specific body part on a specific day. There was absolutely no structure. At the time, he was also only sleeping about 4 to 5 hours. He was going out doing shit with girls. Yeah, Gavin, I ratted you out. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, he was sleeping like barely any sleep. His nutrition was also awful. He'd come back on lunch with fucking chips and subs from the gas station. And, he never really ate clean. He never really understood, calories, macros, protein, carbs, fats, things like that, and how you actually need to structure these things to build muscle. This just goes to show you don't have to have all the knowledge to figure everything out. You can hire someone that has the knowledge to teach you the knowledge so you can get the results too. Most people are so skeptical or don't want to hire a coach, it's kind of stupid if you ask me, because you could save yourself so much trial and error of trying to figure it out on your own by just spending money towards a reputable coach. Because Gavin was stuck in 160 pounds for years on end. He didn't really understand why, because when he would go to the gym, he would work out hard. Most people think, I'm just going to go to the gym and work out hard. Oh, well, I'm working out hard and I'm not gaining weight. I don't know why that is. Well, because you have no structure and you're missing a ton of pieces to the puzzle. So this is where he was when he started. We had all these problems, so we had to pretty much start at a baseline to get his body up to speed and really actually lock him in on a system that he could execute on consistently because of the job he was working. So let me scroll down here. So when we started, the pros were he was always lean and he had a fast metabolism. When someone's always lean with a fast metabolism, that makes it a lot easier for them to stay lean and actually put on muscle because their body has the metabolism is just faster, their insulin sensitivity is better, so the more food you give them, the more likely it is to be used as fuel in the muscle rather than stored as fat. He was lucky in that department. Now, the cons were, like I already said, no structure. He was eating 2 to 3 random meals per day. Like I said, it could be a sub and some Doritos from the gas station. It could be some soda. There was no structure to his diet. There was no macros. There was no calories. There was nothing. Same thing with his training. 2 to 3 random training sessions per week. Wasn't keeping track of what lifts he was actually doing, the weights he was doing, the reps he was doing. And he wasn't tracking anything. He wasn't tracking macros. He wasn't tracking his lifts. He wasn't tracking calories, meals, literally nothing. And then the biggest one of all was he was sleeping about 4 to 5 hours, which everyone who knows who, you want to gain muscle, you need to sleep to recover, you need to eat to recover, and you need to train really hard. So if all of these things are not where they need to be, you're not going to get the transformation you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? All of these need to work together in unison. Most people only usually have the gym because we all go to the gym. We all see those same people at the same time every day for months or even years, and they always fucking look the same. Why is that? Because going to the gym is one piece of the puzzle. You could train hard as fuck, but if your diet is fucked up, your sleep is fucked up, your supplementation and your blood work is fucked up, your body's not going to change no matter how hard you work out. Working out is not even the most important piece of the puzzle. Your nutrition and your recovery is. So that's why we had to get all this on point for him. So, going from 160 pounds to 104 pounds, this is what actually changed. So went from eating 2 to 3 random ass meals per day to consistently eating 6 whole food tracked meals every single day. I'm talking chicken and rice, beef and pasta, shakes with oats and egg whites and peanut butter, whole eggs, things like that. Once we actually got him on point, he started to gain weight very easily. As you could tell, he fucking exploded. But his body partitioned these nutrients very well because he stayed lean the entire time because of his already heightened metabolism and insulin sensitivity. We were also consistently training 4 intense progressive overload training sessions per week. 4 is the sweet spot, especially for guys working 10 to 12 hours. They can't spend 6 days a week in the gym. They need to get in and out within 45 minutes to an hour. That's what we did. We're doing chest and shoulders, then back and traps, rest day, legs, arms, 2 more rest days. That is a phenomenal split for someone who has a little bit amount of time. They actually want to have a successful growth phase with an optimal amount of rest in between your days throughout the week so you can actually recover. Now, when I say 4 intense training days, I mean very intense. So we're taking sets to failure, like leaving absolutely nothing in the tank. We're keeping shorter rest periods, maybe 45 to 90 seconds, not 5 minutes. We're progressively overloading either weight or reps literally every week. As you continue to increase food, you continue to get stronger. You essentially need to force the growth. So if you're doing 225 for 10 on bench today, next week you should go for 230 for 10. If you can get it, go up another 5 pounds. If you can't, wait another week until you can get it and then continue that process week after week after week after week. When it comes to progressive overload, you need to force the growth. You need to force more weight on the bar, or you need to force way more reps. That's how you literally force your body to grow. The human body is a stress response machine. The more you stress it, the more it will adapt, the more it will grow. So, 4 intense progressive overload training sessions every week, training till failure, increasing weight and reps, forcing his body to grow. On top of that, we are tracking all calories, macros, weights, and reps in the gym. Data tracking is huge because if you don't know what you're doing because you're not tracking it, then you don't know what to change or do differently if something is working or isn't working. When you track calories, protein, carbs, fats, the exercises you're doing in the gym, the weights you're using, the reps that you're using, if you hit a plateau, If you stop gaining weight, if you start losing weight, if you start to look soft, if you actually start to grow and get big, now you have all this data to look back on and you can go back and look, okay, what was working? What changed? What wasn't working? What do we need to change? Keeping track of your data is so important. If you don't know what weights you're doing in the gym, how do you know what weight to increase to? If you don't know how many reps you're doing, how do you know what reps to increase to? If you aren't tracking your calories and weighing your food, how do you know what you're eating? How do you know whether to increase food or take away food if you don't even know where you are? Data tracking is huge for fitness, for business, for everything. On top of that, then he finally started consistently sleeping 7 to 8 hours. So pretty much all of this created the perfect scenario for him to go from 160 pounds fucking around to 200 pounds fucking jacked and locked the fuck in. So let's be honest. Is that 4 training sessions per week, 6 meals a day? That might be tough for some. 4 hours a week in the gym, weighing your food, tracking your macros, and sleeping 7 to 8 hours. That is very simple, guys. Literally anyone can do that. He's working 60 hours a week. He's doing this with ease, and that's exactly why he's jacked now. You guys overcomplicate this way too much. You don't have to train for 2 hours. You don't have to train 7 days a week. You don't have to do any crazy shit. This is the basic shit. Whole food meals, intense progressive overload training sessions, tracking your meals and knowing what you're actually eating, sleeping 7 to 8 hours so you actually fucking recover. This shit is simple, guys. Literally anyone can do this. Stop overcomplicating everything. So, this was the baseline for when we first started. Because, like I said, he had no nutrition, he had no structure, he didn't have anything he needed. So, the baseline nutrition we started him at was 4 meals per day, 2,000 calories, 160 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. For his height and weight and his activity level at that time, this was his maintenance level. So I always start somebody off at maintenance. Why? Because we need to find a baseline. If you haven't been eating consistently, whether you're skinny, you're overweight, it doesn't matter. You should always start at your maintenance and then either subtract from there and then build from there. Because if you go from doing a bunch of inconsistent random shit and just get your body at maintenance, you will most likely lose fat and get in better shape right away because you're giving your body what it actually needs. Now, as far as vitamins and minerals, we were doing vitamin D and K2, vitamin C, vitamin B12, boron citrate, fish oil, zinc, and CoQ10. Now, the whole point of doing these every day is to aid your body in its natural abilities as it is. So these help with, energy production, fat loss, your joints, your natural testosterone production, your free testosterone. All of these just make sure your body is functioning at a high cellular level. So we want your body to be functioning as good as it can be. Most people don't even get enough vitamins and minerals from their diet. Even though he was on a clean diet, we also wanted to add these in so that his body was firing on all 8 cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Your body is like a V8 engine. If you have 7 cylinders firing, you have a misfire, you are not able to produce as much power, as much speed as you would be able to if all 8 cylinders were firing together. That's why it's so important that your training, your nutrition, your recovery, and your supplementation are all locked in. All cylinders of the equation working in unison, firing together to create the best scenario possible, which is get fucking jacked in this situation. And the only supplements he was using was whey protein post-workout, fiber supplement to help with digestion, eliminating toxins and things like that, and liver support because, your liver is super fucking important. Your liver processes all toxins and bad things your body wants to get rid of. So if your liver is not functioning, your gut's going to be messed up. You're going to retain water. Your fat burning process is going to slow down, and it's just not going to be the best scenario possible. With all my clients, the main thing I try to do is create the best scenario possible. Whether you want to have a transformation like Gavin, which is put on a shit ton of muscle, or have a transformation like some of my other guys who lost a lot of weight, got really shredded, I want to have you in the best scenario possible to build muscle, to burn fat, to get your energy high, to just feel like $1 million fucking dollars. Because why not? We want your body to do what it's supposed to do. So if we don't get your body operating at an optimal level, progress is not going to be as consistent. It's not going to be as fast. We're just going to be working an uphill battle when we can be on an even playing field working together with your body. You know what I'm saying? So that was his baseline. All these vitamins and minerals, those are the supplements, 4 meals a day, 2,000 calories, 160 protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. Now, this was not a natural transformation. I have natural clients. I have some clients that take it a step further. They want to use steroids. I've been a competitive bodybuilder. I know how to use steroids. I've used steroids. It is what it is. Some people feel some type of way. It doesn't really matter. My job is to make sure people get the results. Whether they want to stay natural or not, that's up to them. I always advise people you should stay natural, especially if you're not competing or you're not taking this further than just wanting to look good. You shouldn't do steroids, but that's completely up to you. I'm the coach. I care about you. I'm here to guide you, educate you, make sure you stay healthy. If that's your decision, I'm going to support you in that decision and make sure you do it in the best way possible and that you're healthy the entire time. So anyone that comes to me naturally and does want to do a cycle, I force them to give me a minimum of 8 weeks executing on the basics, staying consistent. Because at this baseline, if you can't even execute on keeping your clean diet, taking your vitamins and minerals, getting your sleep and recovery, and training hard, steroids won't do shit. If you cannot lock in the basics, you are wasting steroids, you are wasting money, and you are risking your health for literally no reason. So, after he was locked in consistently for 8 weeks, executing on everything and seeing results, we started 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week. Testosterone cypionate. Nothing crazy at all here. Testosterone, not a high dose, very mild compound, and that's what he wanted to do, so that's what we did. Anyone who wants to start a cycle, testosterone is the first compound you really should start with, and it's the base of all bodybuilding bulk cycles, cut cycles, you name it. Testosterone will always be king, especially because men these days don't have testosterone regardless. So, at the peak of his growth, at 204 pounds, as you can see, I wanted to show you a clip of the backside as well. It's a massive difference. That's over 40 pounds fucking lean, bro. That's a lot of muscle. So, at that point, his nutrition was elevated a lot. To put on lean muscle tissue, you need to train really hard. You need to eat a lot of food. You need to constantly be increasing weight. You need to constantly be increasing reps. You need to constantly be increasing food. So, instead of 4 meals, 2,000 calories, we worked our way up to 6 whole food meals a day. 3,800 calories, 220 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, and 120 grams of fat. So we increased all macronutrients, we increased his overall eating, and we increased calories. Vitamins, minerals, and supplements stayed the same. The only thing that changed was after the 10th week of being at 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate, we increased that dose to 500 milligrams, and we ran that out for the next 9 months. So, another thing too, when it comes to your nutrition, so over the course of 9 months, we increased his calories by 1,800. We pretty much doubled his carbohydrates and his fat. I typically try to stay around like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So protein didn't go up that much, but carbs and fat did go up a lot because, one, he has a high metabolism, he has good insulin sensitivity, and we want to make sure that weight gain was consistent. Now, the problem people have when they do a bulk or a growth phase, people will immediately go into an insane 1,000 calorie, 1,500 calorie surplus. You can't do that because, one, your body is not going to be able to handle and even process all that food from the jump. You're going to destroy your metabolism. You're going to destroy your insulin sensitivity. You're going to halt your progress. Your metabolism is going to slow down. Your body's just going to shit that food out because it can't process it. It needs to be a slow, gradual process. So over the course of 9 months, we slowly increased his food. So in the beginning, when we first got started, when he was on 4 meals, we would periodically increase calories per day. So a couple weeks would go by, we'd increase 250 calories. A couple more weeks would go by, we'd increase 250 calories. When we've increased the amount of food he was having for those 4 meals, that's when we added a 5th meal. Then we started adding more calories to that 5th meal. Now when that 5th meal got to size of a whole meal, we added a 6th meal. If we would have just immediately out of the gate just added, okay, we went from 4 meals to 6 meals, 1,800 calorie jump, he wouldn't have been able to handle it. His body wouldn't have been able to handle it. He would have felt like shit. His energy level would have dropped. He probably would have just shit all the food out and it would have been useless. Your body needs to adjust periodically to taking more food, digesting more food. Same thing in the gym. If you hit 225 on bench today and you wanted to do 315, you just hit 225 today and you try to do 315 next week, what's going to happen? You're obviously not going to do it because you have not worked up to being able to do that weight yet. Just like Gavin wasn't worked up to being able to handle 3,800 calories in 6 meals. So that's why we made slow periodic increases over the course of 9 months. Then once we hit that sweet spot a day of 6 meals, guys, like bodybuilders, if you want to have a transformation like this, 5, 6, 7 meals, you better get fucking used to it. Because the more frequently you eat, the easier it is on your metabolism and your digestive system to actually utilize this food for the goal, which is to gain muscle. I forgot what I was going to say right there. But, oh, yeah. You want to eat, like, when you, like, for a bodybuilder, too, like, spacing the meals out every 3 hours is pretty much ideal. And then once you're in this flow state for a little bit while, your body starts getting used to those 6 meals. You will start to be hungry around those meal times because your body will get used to it every 3 hours. Keep your muscles fed, keep your glycogen stores full. Every 3 hours is a sweet spot. But like I said, it has to be titrated up periodically like a staircase. You can't just dump all that in on one time or you're going to waste it. Now from about month 6 to month 9, these calories and macros are what stayed the same. We focused more on increasing the volume in the gym, a little bit longer workouts, a couple more sets, a couple more exercise, but really focus on pushing that heavy weight. Really emphasize doing 5, 10, 15 pound weight increases every week, trying to get as many reps as possible. We would add in drop sets, forced reps, extra reps with a spotter doing most of the work for you, just squeezing everything we could out of every workout. Why? Because we needed to push his body. He was having enough food and nutrients to recover, and he was sleeping, so he also had the recovery from sleeping as well. So everything is calculated. Like I also said, vitamins, minerals, and supplements, everything that he was taking in the beginning, he was still taking at the end. Testosterone went from 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams. Anyone who's in bodybuilding, well-versed in steroids, this is barely even a cycle. He got amazing results, not because of the testosterone. He got amazing results because he was consistent in every fucking thing he was doing. He did not miss a meal. He did not miss a lift. He didn't miss a fucking thing. And that's why he gained 40 pounds fucking lean in under a year. Most people can't do that. I don't know what else you need to see. It's right in this picture right here. He's literally just as fucking lean. So that is literal lean muscle tissue. You can do the same thing too, but you are not working hard enough. You're not staying consistent enough. You do not have all these pieces of the puzzle locked in. But if you do exactly what I'm telling you here, you can get results just like Gavin. I promise you, anyone can. Now, on cycle, you want to pay attention to your blood work. Blood work is very important to know what is actually going on so you can be healthy and performing at your best. Even if you're doing all this and your blood work is fucked up, that's going to limit your progress. It's going to limit how you actually feel. It's going to limit your energy levels, your mental clarity, your psyche, literally everything. So, this is the blood work you need to get done. Your testosterone profile, your estrogen, I don't know how to say that right, but it's estrogen. Your estrogen. You want to know where your estrogen's at. Your prolactin, complete blood count. That'll give you, your red blood cell count, your lipids, all that good stuff. Comprehensive metabolic panel. This is, like your triglycerides, your cholesterol, all your vitamins and mineral levels actually within your body, and then a lipid panel. If you get all this blood work done, this is going to tell you if you're actually healthy or not. Because you could have a transformation like Gavin, like you could look great, but if your blood work's fucked up, you're not healthy. And you want to pay attention to that and you want to know it. His blood work has been consistent the entire time. Everything was always in range. Just from him being on point and taking 500 milligrams of testosterone, his testosterone levels were over 2,000. Anyone who knows anything about testosterone levels, it's very high. As a bodybuilder, you want very high testosterone levels. His estrogen was in range. His prolactin was in range. His liver enzymes were in range. His hematocrit was in range. His hemoglobin was in range. All of that was in range. We know this because we got the blood work done, and we're going to continue to do that. Even if you don't use steroids, it is still good to get these blood work tests done so you can actually see what's going on in your body. If you have low testosterone and you've been feeling like shit and you have low energy, maybe you should get your blood work done. If you have low testosterone, do something to change it. Same thing if your estrogen is high. If your estrogen is high, you're going to be stressed out. You're going to feel like a woman on her period. You're going to feel like a fucking psychopath, unable to make decisions because your estrogen's high. Same thing with your prolactin. If you're stressed out, you might be losing your hair. You might not be able to think straight. If you feel off, this blood work is what's going to tell you what is actually wrong. So it's very important to get this done whether you're natural or not to, again, create the best scenario possible so you can be healthy and get the best results. So, already went over the training. The training stayed 4 days a week. Like I said, heavy progressive overload, taking all sets to failure. The crazy thing about this is you watching this right now, this is all stuff you already fucking know. This is stuff you already fucking know. You just got to do it. Everyone says, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. And that's why you look like shit. I'm saying this because I want you to get these results. This is why I make these videos. This is why I give all this out for free. This is what I do for my clients. They pay me a lot of money to structure all this out, hold them accountable. You could get these results too. Drop your ego, hire someone to help you, even if it's not me, another coach, or whatever the case may be. If you can't do it yourself, hire someone that can help you and get you the results and show you what it actually takes to get there, and then you can get there and maintain it yourself. I hired a coach for bodybuilding. I hired a coach for my business. It was the best decision I ever made because I got the results. I kept the results, and I was able to keep progressing moving forward because of what they taught me. So, recap. My client Gavin. This is the full transformation he made in 9 months, working 10 to 12 hour shifts. He went from 161 pounds to 204 pounds, jacked, lean, hard, like a full bodybuilder. Started him at a baseline of 4 meals a day, 2,000 calories, 160 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 60 grams of fat. After being consistent and getting results for 8 weeks, we added in 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate, tapered up all his food, his calories, his macros to 6 meals a day, 3,800 calories, 220 grams of protein, 450 grams of carbs, 120 grams of fat. Continued taking all his vitamins, minerals, and supplements. Raised the testosterone to 500 milligrams from 200 milligrams. Got the proper blood work to make sure he was healthy and in range. And this is where we're at. I'll be able to make another video after I do a cut with him. But this is where I'm at with Gavin so far. I wanted to show you guys this video because he had an absolutely drastic transformation. And I'm open about it. It wasn't natural. But all he did was take testosterone. That's it. You don't need to take 3,000 milligrams of gear to get great results. Because when you're training, your nutrition, your sleep, when everything's on point, you can make phenomenal results with a low dose. When using steroids, especially if you're not a bodybuilder, your objective should be to get the best results possible with the lowest dose. I don't care what any of these guys say, man. You're taking years off your life. You're wasting your gear if you're not on point and you're not doing what you need to be. Anyone can get results like this. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you got a lot of value and information from this video. I'm going to start making more of these videos on my YouTube. If you don't have me on Instagram, you should definitely follow me on Instagram. I post free value like literally every single day. I give everything out for free. I tell everyone exactly how I do everything. I give it all out for free because I want you guys to know how to do this. And if you need guidance to do it, send me a message. If you've seen this video, send me a message on Instagram and just DM me YouTube transformation so I know you came from this video. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. And just keep putting in the work, guys. This is a very simple process to get big, get lean, get jacked. We overcomplicate it. We overthink things. It's very simple. If you do exactly what's laid out in this video, I can almost guarantee you will gain a serious amount of muscle. And if you want help doing that, feel free to send me a message. I'd love to talk to you, see where you're at, where you're struggling with, get you on the team, and help you get the results you're looking for. But all right, man, that's it. See you later, guys.